Warning: this work of fiction, intended for adults, contains strong language, graphic depictions of violence, and themes of self-harm and suicide. Discretion advised. The Ballad of the Flower, Book 2, Ranger. Written and performed by Neal Lensenmayer. Chapter 8. The next morning, Carson and Siri were knocking down more wood for the boat. They had gone early, leaving Adam, Tara, and Barney alone at the breakfast table. "Why don't you try polarizing it?" Tara asked, looking at the inane scrawlings that Barney had put on the last scrap of paper they had in the house. "I thought about that, but the boost in power destabilizes it too much. I might turn him into a frog," Barney said. "Would he still be a cursed frog?" Tara asked, a bit sarcastically. "I think it would have an impact for sure, but I can't guarantee anything." Barney tapped his long, thin fingers on his temple. "Can we try just removing the infected tissue?" "It's more than skin deep," Tara said. "It's got a grip on his soul. It's actually replaced part of it. The tattoo is just a symptom." Barney gave a long sigh. "What if we built him a new body?" the Wayfinder asked. "Like what my mom did with me?" Tara seemed to consider it. "Well, the body would come out as a baby, and it would have its own soul. Not to mention, I have no idea how to even start a ritual like that." She rested her chin in her hands and gently spun her hair. "Why would Aldrich put part of her own power directly into his soul?" "Do you think it's to keep track of him?" Barney leaned back in his chair. "She's a god. She can already keep track of him. It hasn't manifested in any sort of magical power, has it?" Tara asked. "I haven't felt anything," Barney said. "Neither have I. So why put power into him? And why protect me?" Tricky, tricky. Barney got that puzzle-solving look in his eyes. "Has it affected him mentally?" This was Barney inviting Adam back into the conversation. "Mentally, he's about the same," Adam said, scratching the back of his neck. "That is to say, he's exhibiting the same psychopathic tendencies he's always had, and increased risk-taking. I'm not sure he's actually come to terms with dying." "Should he be around Siri right now?" Tara asked. "Honestly, he's the only person who won't try to talk to her about what happened. It'll be a nice break for her." "I still don't know if she should be moving around so much." Tara leaned back in her chair. "She's recovered really well so far. I think the trust is doing her more good than the bed rest." Adam was trying not to think about the fact that Carson's soul being corrupted had hardly changed him at all as a person. "Well, I think it's time I go see what we're working with boat-wise," Barney said, folding the scrap of paper and putting it back in its hiding place. "Are you sure we shouldn't tell him?" "Absolutely," Adam said. "He thinks he already has a cure. Undermining him would just make him go off on his own and kill everyone that way." Barney glanced at Tara, and she cleared her throat. "We've been thinking," she started. "If Carson starts to slip away from us, or even against us, we should be prepared." Adam took a deep breath. "I agree," he said. The tension at the table relaxed. "We need a way to stop him without killing him, though. I don't want to kill anyone we don't absolutely have to." "Of course," Barney said, setting a thin hand on his shoulder. "I'll keep an eye on him today. Let you know if anything happens." "Thanks." Adam touched Barney's hand. "Ready to forage like a good little team players?" Tara nodded at him, and they got ready as Barney left. The woods were quiet, as usual. Adam was worried that he wouldn't be able to focus in a real forest, with its wind and bird calls and different sounds. Tara didn't like it either, though, and they talked their way through it. "I thought we were Eagle Force Delta," she said, picking a few plants from the ground. "No, the 5 of us are Eagle Force Delta," Adam said. "We need a team name for the 2 of us, like Carson and I are the Dream Team, Barney and I are Thunder and Lightning, and then the whole of us are Eagle Force Delta." "And you think the Forest Friends is a good name?" Tara set her plants in the little knapsack they had brought along. "What do you call me and Siri?" she asked. "Gay." She slugged him in the shoulder. "I'm just trying to get some ideas going. I've got a few more." Adam was reflexively scanning the trees. "The Druid Dudes." "I'm not a dude, Adam," Tara said with a half-smile. "The Druid Duo, then." "You're not a druid." She slapped his chest playfully. "The 2 Willows," Adam said, raising an eyebrow. "That's not too bad, actually," Tara said reluctantly. "Right? Give it a try." Tara made a thinking face. Cook and cure? She offered. Ooh, Adam looked into the distance. Sounds like an inn, but I like it. The Belly Scar twins. Fuck you. Too soon. My bad. Adam held his hands up apologetically. Tara snapped her fingers. Ranger Danger. Oh, that's solid. That's a good name. Adam ruffled Tara's hair. I'm a big fan of rhyming. The guy who got mauled by an owlbear and his awesome friend, Tara said with a broad gesture. Ranger Danger it is, Adam said with a huff. Who do you think made these paths? Adam asked, brushing away some vines with his foot. Probably the same people who built the lighthouse, Tara said. They look about as old. It must have been a lot of people to make so many paths, though, Adam said. The lighthouse is hardly big enough for the 5 of us. Either that or the family was there for long enough to have a lot of people. Adam held out the bag for Tara to put in more plants. Why would they want to live here? Adam asked, closing the bag. It's far from trade. The winters can't be easy to get through. What maniacs would want that? I guess some people just really value privacy, Tara shrugged. Granted, this is a little far out even for my tastes, but it's self-sufficient. Water, fish, veggies, herbs, plenty of wood for a fire. Life here wouldn't be all bad if you had real winter clothes. But where did they go? Adam asked. Wouldn't a family that big have a graveyard? Druids don't believe in graveyards, Tara said. Outside of the Great Purge, our bodies are burned and our ashes are buried, or turned into... Tara stood and looked around at the forest. Turned into trees. Adam immediately had his back against Tara's, his stolen sword held ready. That would explain the growth with the lack of pollinators, Adam said. And why so many different kinds of trees are growing this far south. Tara was pressing against his back, but her stance was entirely defensive. Tara, should we be using these plants? Adam whispered. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. You do not sound sure. Adam kept scanning the forest, eerily still. I'm not super clear on the protocol, but the plants aren't the trees. Tara kept trying to back into Adam, and he was sure she was spinning her hair. And we can't be sure that they're all druids, or even that any of them are. Hypothetically, Adam said quietly, if this entire island was a druid gathering place, what would we look for? There would be a shrine somewhere, Tara said, probably near the center of the island. Adam let the tension sit between them. You want to look for it too, right? Adam said, standing up straight. I'm glad you said something. I really want to look for it, yeah. Tara was looking at the path, walking quickly and making Adam catch up on his own. Which way is the center of the island? She asked when they reached a fork in the path. Tara, this trail is hundreds of years old, Adam said, doing his best to figure it out anyway. He knelt down and looked for any signs of intense wear. My guess is left, he said after a few moments. They went through a few more of these little guesses and had to double back twice. They had been out in the woods for maybe an hour, the silence only broken by their quick steps and heavy breathing. Past one of the forks, Adam could see a large stone formation, completely out of place in the pine woods around them. They came to a stop, panting, near the mouth of the structure. Do you think that's it? Adam asked, hands on his knees. What, the spooky death cave? I'm pretty sure that's it. Tara stood and stretched her back. We should get everyone together before we go in there, Adam said. I completely agree. Tara took a step forward, and Adam followed. This is dangerous, Adam said, taking the lead. Which means there's a reward, right? Tara said behind him, summoning fire into her hands to light up the cave entrance. Obviously. Adam held close to the wall. The interior was quiet. None of the dripping sounds in a natural cave. The walls were smooth, almost polished. This was something that had been built. What are we even looking for? Symbols, carvings, you'll know it when you see it. Tara pushed past him and lit up the steps. Even with the light from Tara's spell, Adam couldn't see to the end of them. How far under are we going to go? Adam asked, his voice echoing off the stone walls. I'm not sure. Tara sent a tiny ball of flames down the hall, and it ended in a large room at the bottom of the stairs. They had to pass through something like a doorway before they entered a wide, circular room. The light of the fire in Tara's hands barely reached the walls, revealing an intricate tapestry of carvings in the stone. What is all this? Adam asked, keeping one eye on Tara's burning hands and the other on the exit. It's a story, Tara said, stepping carefully to the carving. Or a collection of stories, at least. We have one of these carved in my room. She pointed to a small group of people in the walls. These are the druids, see? Look at their vines. Adam looked and saw vines wrapped in wreaths similar to the ones on Carson's chest. This was a place of celebration, Tara said, tracing the wall with a gentle touch. A place that was the end of a pilgrimage or something. Adam glanced around the room, taking in the carvings that were probably older than anything Barney had ever read. What's the story about? He asked, wincing at the sound of his own voice reflected back at him. It's not really... Okay, druids use stories to explain rituals and spells. Tara traced an odd-looking blob. This is the symbol for a tree strider, like Pravella. She was so excited, Adam almost didn't ask her to explain who the hell Pravella was. She was a druid, a powerful druid, and she made peace with the dryads millennia ago. Tara moved her hand around the blob symbol, looking for something to illustrate her point. The dryads gave her the power to move through trees, to anywhere in the world. Adam had only met one dryad, and while she was certainly polite, she didn't strike him as the type to hand out fantastic magical abilities. Did she tell anyone else how to do it? He asked, but Tara had found another symbol to latch onto. This must be the old version of the symbol for Stormbringer. Tara was squinting against the light of the fire in her own hand. Adam gave her a glance. There's something called a Stormbringer? They're like tree striders, powerful druids who summon storms. Tara waved away a question Adam hadn't asked. Usually, tree striders and stormbringers come around at the same time to balance things out. Adam reflected on this, and the tiny woman in front of him who had summoned no less than 2 storms by his count. Do you think, he said slowly, that you might be a Stormbringer? Tara moved her mouth to one side of her face. Maybe? Tara, well, it's not just like the ability to call storms. Lots of powerful druids can do that, I think. It's more of a position, like a high priest or an archmage. And tree striders balance them out, Adam said dumbly. Exactly, see? You get it. I don't get it. Tara made a frustrated noise, and the flame in her hand grew for a moment. Okay, there are 2 sects of druids. Tara held up an adequate amount of fingers. There are the Prevelites and the Azurites. Prevelites as in Pravella? Adam hoped for his hair's sake that he had guessed correctly. That fire was awfully close to him now. Yes, Azure was her Stormbringer. Tara breathed in to keep control of herself. The Prevelites split off because they thought that all things should end in their time. Life, knowledge, memories, stone, everything. Tara turned back to the carvings. So the Azurites must have carved this place to document some sort of spell. So what were they trying to tell us? Adam asked, still filing away information. This is the symbol for Ultrix, Tara said, moving more quickly. These are the symbols for the Ascension, when Ultrix became a god. Adam kept track of Tara with his ears while his eyes scanned the room. This is different. Hold on. She took a moment. This isn't the symbol for God. Like it's an old word? Adam asked. No, like it's a different word. I don't know what it means, Tara squinted. The word for God isn't anywhere on this wall. Look at this, Tara said. It's word for word the story of the Ascension from my tree, only it's not about becoming a god. Adam looked at the wall. It definitely still has a mortal connotation, Tara said to herself. What does that mean? She switched to a new section of wall. Adam, this is where Ultrix ascended. This is her resting place. Adam felt the hair on his neck stand up. This whole island is a mass grave for druids, with Ultrix at its heart. I knew she was mortal. What? Barney said a god couldn't come from a mortal, but there's the proof. Ultrix was mortal. If we wanted to, we could find her body. She clearly ascended, but... She took her eyes off the wall and looked back at the steps. With the help of the Stormbringer and the Tree Strider, she ascended into something more powerful. That's what this symbol means here. Tara retraced her steps. More powerful, but not a god. So Ultrix isn't a god? Adam asked. But people derive powers from her. She controls death. How can she not be a god? The Ascension made her more powerful, maybe even ageless, but this definitely means mortal. Tara brightened the fire in her hand. So we're dealing with something that can bring people back from the dead, interact with souls, and give powers and make deals, but isn't a god? Adam did not like this. This god shit was dangerous, and he didn't want to be involved in any more of it than he absolutely had to be. You've seen what druids can do, Tara said, and Adam had to back away from the still very open flames in her hand. I could barely move water back when we first met. Now it storms when I get too excited. Adam half expected to hear thunder outside. I bet if I had enough practice, I could manipulate someone's soul too. Terrifying implications of that aside, Adam said, what does that mean for us? Can we get out of Ultrix's deal? I don't know. Tara shook her head, looking at the carvings in the walls. Ultrix is ancient and incredibly powerful. She's bound to have a lot of failsafes set up around that spell. She moved her mouth to the other side of her face. She's not invincible, though. Tara looked around the floor of the cavern, and Adam knew she was looking for a body. I need to know what she's planning before I make any decisions, Tara said at last. Let's get back to the others. I need to talk to Barney. Adam let Tara pass him as they both turned towards the stairs. Why would the priests hunt you down if Ultrix didn't control death? He asked, still uncomfortable with the echo of his voice. Who says she can't? Tara said, barely glancing back at him. Maybe she didn't control death at first. Maybe she was just really powerful. But after even 100 years of practice? I'd try to kill her. Adam sighed uncomfortably. Is it all right that we're talking about her like that? He asked. Remember what happened with Maeva? She needs me alive. Tara tripped once on the stair in front of her, and Adam caught her. She needs Carson alive, too. She won't try to stop us. She said she wouldn't. That's a pretty short list of people she won't kill, Adam said softly. Don't worry. I'll protect you, Tara said, her smile reflecting her flames. You and me, Ranger danger, she said. I do really like that, Adam said, resetting his body to look natural as they came into the light. I'm pretty sure the wreck is this way. He turned towards the eastern side of the island and started down an eerie footpath. Tara kept up with him, her black hair bouncing, her face oddly neutral. You all right? Even history is a lie, she said in a hurt whisper. Everything is always lies. I hate that. Adam felt his stomach drop. You won't lie to me, right? She asked him, her eyes almost begging him for an answer. He knew she wouldn't understand. Something as complicated as his relationship with death, his numbness, and worse, she would tell Carson. I'm not going to lie to you, Tara, Adam said. Really, you're one of my closest friends. I don't know what I'd do if you couldn't trust me, if we couldn't trust each other. Tara looked into his eyes. Truth, she said quietly. Adam smiled and nodded, his hair falling into his eyes. Truth. Adam felt his heart start to pump again, but he almost felt sick. Hey, I'll meet you back at the house, okay? Tara looked concerned, but nodded. He followed another odd footpath home. End of chapter.